What's up? So today I really wanted to share my experience of going to Thailand and how that helped me overcome a lot of my anxiety in life. My trip to Thailand actually is a huge player as to how I got over a lot of my daily anxiety. I still get stressed out by a lot of things. I'm like blushing right now. I probably won't always be looking at the camera because I'm just really shy still. But yeah, so I just wanted to share my story to anyone who might also have anxiety, want to travel but be like worried that it's not actually good for them. So yeah, I have a couple questions here that I wrote down. I'm not sure how well this will all work out, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it chronologically. So I did not mean to go to Thailand. That was not the intention of my trip when it left me. I didn't expect to make it that year. I had actually been saving up to go there for a couple years when I actually ended up going, but I had no clue that I was actually going to end up in Thailand when I went. I actually was heading to Sri Lanka to be a social media person and teach yoga at a retreat in exchange for housing. And there was an issue in China, my layover, where some kind of stole my wallet, I missed my flight, and I got scammed and ended up going to Thailand. And so in Thailand, I was only there for 20 hours this first time, but I have a friend there who I know from my college, and so Thailand kind of became my home base while I was traveling. And after that 20-hour layover in Thailand, I ended up back in Sri Lanka for a month doing social media stuff on the worst internet ever. My life was painful. I don't know how to explain that, and there is barely anyone coming for yoga. It's actually when I realized that I accidentally messed up on my visa, I kind of could have gone to Colombo and tried to finagle with the government to let me stay the 3 months I was supposed to, but I wanted out. I had been spending a month looking at people just traveling and having an amazing time in a beautiful country that I was just caged into a retreat at. And so when I had the opportunity to get the fork out, I did. I got a flight to Thailand. I had an 18-hour notice, and I'm actually teaching yoga, my first yoga class, on top of a mountain that day, and then I took a bus to Thailand and ran away. And yeah, so my first 5 days in Thailand was just spent in Bangkok trying to get the nerve to leave my hostel and see everything. I had the urge to, I wanted to leave, but I was terrified. I was terrified of the food. I was terrified someone was going to scam me again. I was terrified that there would be a language barrier. There wasn't really a language barrier. No one scammed me. Actually, people in Thailand are very nice, from what I can tell. What was the first fear? Oh, the food! The food was delicious. I was terrified of street food when I first got there. I refused to eat it. The bright side of Thailand is their 7-Elevens are like Walmart. So no, that's not true. But they do have anything you want. So if I was really ever terrified of food or anything, I would just eat at 7-Eleven, which is really lame. I regret that now, but it's an honest truth because I was too afraid to eat the food. But it's much more affordable to just eat the street food, and it's actually really, really delicious. So I'm really happy I got over myself and ate something. So when I got to Koh San Road, it was really loud, it was really scary. I had all of my stuff in my suitcase, which was really heavy, really poorly packed. I packed really terribly. And it was really thanks to that hostel owner that I was able to get a backpack, and I was able to get more comfortable going around town. And also they had little expeditions every day with the group in the hostel, and so I did choose to go on 2 of those. I went to the king's birthday, and I went to a water market. It was actually my second time trying to get to a water market because me and my friend had tried the other day. I also went to that huge open market thing. It wasn't really open. It was interesting. And also something I was holding back was I was really trying to convince my friend to travel with me. I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to be a solo female traveler. That sounded really scary to me. But he had shit to do, and I spent a lot of money to get there. So eventually, with that motive being there, I spent money to be here, moving me along, I ended up in Koh Tao, where I learned to scuba dive. And scuba diving itself was something that I was terrified of. I my family lost a family friend when I was about 5 to scuba diving, and so I was really afraid, but I really love the water though, and I love fishes. I love being in aquariums. I love water, and oh, I feel like Haru. Anyways, so I really wanted to be able to get over that fear, and it was like a couple miserable days in the pool and one dive later and I was hooked. I hate snorkeling though, I get so motion sick, and someone told me to go ahead and try diving because you're not going to get motion sick when you're there, or when you're underwater diving. And so I did, and it was amazing. I didn't die, as you can tell, and no one I know since that death, like 16 years ago, has passed away. And I think something that I know now is that that trip that my family friend died on wasn't a very safe trip. It was sketch. Like, I would not go on that. I would not put myself in that position with what I know now. And it's really unfortunate that someone passed away, but that also helped me understand that there are safe things I can do, or there's like safeguards I can put in place for myself to help me. I actually got my advanced certification. I liked diving so much, just to let you know. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was amazing. I managed to step out of my comfort shell and see a whole world, cute little mermaid, that I didn't expect to fall in love with. Well, I did, but anyways, that's why I did it, and I just was instantaneously rewarded. And it's not usually in life that you can just do something and then actually have immediate gratification. Like, most of the time it's like, I did something and you're just like, okay. And eventually it rolls back and you're like, oh great, all that hard work paid off. Fuck you, eh? No, I would love A's. I'm getting distracted, I'm sorry. So while I was in Koh Tao as well as in Bangkok, I was already talking to a ton of other travelers who were sharing their awesome stories, and again, just like fueling my motivation to explore. And also, I didn't really want to explore everything alone, so I'd much rather talk to people, which is just terrifying too, but I'd rather talk to people than like go missing. So I don't know, putting those into perspective really like pushed me into just choosing to talk to someone and making friends. And so I went on like a hike with people. I ended up going out to drink with people and eat with people who I did not know. So I'm actually really good at talking to strangers, and I really suck at maintaining that friendship, because I went over like, I don't know, like every day you're meeting like 20 people and just trying to talk to them and find who your friends are and who wants to go explore something with you. I did do that for a lot of the things. Every hiking trip I did, I was accompanied by someone who I trusted. And this switch was ignited in me. I stopped caring. I stopped fretting about what I had to do on a daily basis. I kind of just planned one day in advance, and it was really about talking to people as well. It helped me get out of my shell. Then I ended up going off to Koh Samui. I went to Ao Nang while I was there. I didn't go to any of the temples. I went on a hike and got a ride with a durian farmer. Well, a couple. That was cool. Like, I don't think many people can say that, so I think it's really cool. I was actually traveling with someone who knew Thai, and they were just like, got in the car, which was great because it was raining, and it was actually a really long walk back to the hostel, and the area of the island I was staying in didn't have that many taxis, and also I was too stingy to get one. So, moving on with life. After Koh Samui, I ended up in Railay, which it was just pretty close to Phuket, and you kind of do either Railay or Phuket. I chose Railay because I really wanted to see the Phi Phi Islands, and I'm so happy I did. It was beautiful. I don't know what to say. It was literally like a piece of art, or it did not feel real. It felt like I was inside of an Instagram filter while I was there. It was just that gorgeous. So yeah, again, instantaneous gratification, or I'm going to go on this trip. I have motion sickness and this looks like a terrible idea. I'm going to do it anyways. I did have motion sickness pills. I probably would have ended up on the equipment like that other dude, just like turning green. So there is that. And then I went to Chiang Mai, and in Chiang Mai, I really wanted to see the White Temple. That actually is in Chiang Rai. So I had to get over to Chiang Rai, but first, was it first? Second? I don't know. At some point, I did it was first I went on an elephant expedition, which was gorgeous. It was amazing. I went trekking through like nature with like a leaded tour thing and got to meet elephants in a rescue, so they were actually very sustainable and nice. The river rafting canoe thing was absolutely terrifying. It wasn't the scariest moment of my trip, but I'm really happy I do yoga because I was like bracing myself and like making sure only my hands and feet were touching that raft and maintaining my balance as we went through this like really brown, I swear it was probably leech infested water. That was terrifying. Not as terrifying as missing your flight in China though. Just something to compare it to. It can't get much worse than missing your flight in a country that you can only stay 24 hours in. So after that ended, I ended up getting to Chiang Rai. I saw the Black House and the White Temple, which were gorgeous, and I'm so happy I ended up getting there. And then I had to get back to Bangkok to get out of the country and continue back in Sri Lanka, and at this point I had absolutely no intention of like actually staying in that retreat at this point. Even though it's safe, it wasn't exciting, it wasn't rewarding, it was mentally taxing. My body felt so heavy and just stressed. Like, I can do the splits, I could not even touch my toes after a month doing social media in Sri Lanka with only one person in the retreat who spoke English. And so yeah, I had no intention of staying in a retreat, and I honestly don't expect myself to ever be someone who stays in a retreat now. I think that there are safeguards I can take. I'm not going to... There's never a moment that I felt like, oh, this is really sketchy. But I know it's really... I never felt unsafe while I was in Thailand. Except for when I was like researching rumors in Koh Tao about random deaths there. That was definitely scary. And also the fact that I was hiding it from my mom because I didn't want her to worry about me, that was a bit scary too. But again, nothing was as scary as what happened in China, because it takes a lot to get that screwed over in like 20 hours. That's impressive. Alright, so I think I actually do have some time to go over some of the questions that I had asked myself. So answer what brought me to Thailand. I needed to be free. Was the scariest moment? Answer that. What was I most afraid of when I was in Thailand was literally just the fact that I was a solo female traveler. I'm not that strong. Like, no. If anything happened and there was any type of physical altercation, I was going to lose. It wasn't even like a question. I'm not very good at defending myself if something did happen. The bright side is I was never put in that position where I had to even feel like I was gonna get attacked or mugged or anything. And yeah, like I didn't, once I got over myself and left, the scariest thing became like trying to turn down people selling me souvenirs, which isn't that scary. So yeah. Is there anything that I recommend to a novice traveler? There is. I think I pronounced it wrong. Pack light. Don't pack so light that you don't have makeup. Like, I know if I don't usually wear makeup. I'm wearing it. When I wear makeup, I do feel more confident in myself, but also I refuse to take pictures while I was there, like of myself. And yeah. Make sure you download all of your pictures into whatever device you have, so you have like 2, 3, 5 copies of your pictures, because it sucks when you lose your SD card at the very end of your trip. Trust me, I don't have any pictures that are not in my phone. Anything else? Yeah, just wear what you're actually comfortable in. Don't try to be something you're not. I think that's like a rule wherever you go, is be yourself and you'll be more happy if you do. Would I do it again? Yes, I would. I would absolutely do it again. I actually, despite all my horrors that faced me when I was in China, I really want to visit again, but this time I want to go to Beijing, because my school does have an exchange program there that I can learn Chinese at, and yeah, and then maybe Japan after that. It's a lot of money though, so we'll see how that goes. And something I would like to point out is it's not really common for Americans to travel outside of the country. It's not really common for us to go on these backpacking adventures like a lot of European kids just grew up expecting to do. But the US is f***ing huge. Like, let's face it, it's big. And it doesn't matter what state you're in, you can probably find something that's interesting to go ahead and do while you're there. It's just the price in Thailand is much cheaper once you get there than anything that's in the US. But there are things to do in the US that is very fun. I admit I live in California. I have a lot of interesting things around. But I also lived in Ohio and there was still interesting things to do there. So get out and explore, baby steps if you need to. So yeah. And my final question for myself, even though I'm pretty sure I'm out of time, is what was the hardest part of my trip? Homesickness, honestly. I had a bit of culture shock in Sri Lanka. I think I actually had more culture shock when I got to Mumbai. And I saw a Starbucks after leaving Sri Lanka than like when I actually got to Sri Lanka. But yeah, I missed home a lot. And especially when like things turned sour, I just wanted to be able to go back home. But the price to go back home was actually so expensive, it was cheaper just to stay. And yeah. But what I missed the most about home, unfortunately it wasn't my boyfriend at the time. I know, that's why we broke up. It was my cat. I really missed my cat. And so something that was able to give me that familiarity of home that I was missing was I would go to cat cafes and I would just hang out there and pet a ton of cats, and that was like using my rest days were spent at cat cafes. Oh, that's another thing, take rest days. If you do all this stuff back to back, you're going to burn out. I was there for 3 weeks. Imagine just they were 3 weeks of just boom, 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 venture. You lose your mind. And then another thing I did, which is, I don't know if this is funny or weird or not, I don't know, is if I got really homesick from like America, I would go to McDonald's. Yeah, that's just something that would make me feel more at home. And I think I rambled a lot in this, but hopefully it paints a really clear picture of, not clear, that was entertaining. So hopefully that kind of explains why I believe that travel is part of health and how my trip kind of helped me overcome my anxiety and things like that. It wasn't really a clear thing, I'm sorry, this is just a conversational stuff. Thank you so much, this is my very first video. I hope I didn't make too many mistakes. I cannot do this over again. I will never release it if I continue being a perfectionist. So it's just gonna go out, and hopefully I will get more regular videos out about my health journey after this, because this trip, this time abroad actually completely impacted my life to, it made me realize I wasn't as healthy as I thought I was. I was kind of just covering it up. And so since then, I've been really working on myself to actually live a completely healthy life without the BS of everything else. I like met the standards to be healthy. I wasn't mentally healthy. I wasn't actually well. All right, until next time, dreamers. Understand the cup of tea now. Oh my gosh, you're like shouting, and anyways, there's like a light right behind this camera that I just little moth too. I just need it covered. I was falling on my face literally every time. Oh my god, I really want to start over again. This feels like the good place. Just reset.